Hello everyone! Today a new episode of Skibidi Toilet Multiverse from Dom Studio was released, and it turned out to be extremely rich in different Easter eggs and references. And now I will analyze it in detail for you and find all the secrets that you might have missed, and also build some theories about it. What is inside the cage of this Skibidi monster, and what will happen to the surrounded agents? So get your tea and snacks ready, because this is going to be very interesting. Let's go! The episode begins with the moment that we could remember from the leak, when the three Titans met near the clockman's base. I assumed at the time that they all gathered here in order to rebuild Clockman Titan. But now we can see that the POV's tablet, as well as the Titan's tablets, have received a message saying that the Skibidi toilets are going to attack the place. And as the camera zooms out, we are getting an opportunity to see the entire Clockman's base. And to be honest with you guys, I thought it was a little bit bigger before, but now we can see that it's basically just one tall tower with a metal crescent. It also seems kind of strange to me that it's being placed in the middle of a wasteland. However, maybe it's not that simple. And there's actually a huge complex hidden underground that we haven't seen yet. Titan Speakerman shows the message once more, clearly hinting that something is wrong here, and then we are getting transported to yet another Skibidi base. And the first thing that catches your eye here is that the Skibidi toilets have real hands this time, and we've only seen them on those Skibidi who work with computers so far. All in all, this whole thing looks like a pretty normal office to me. There's even pizza and wok leftovers lying around. I wonder who produces this fast food for the Skibidi though. When the camera zooms in, we see that all of these toilets are wearing anonymous masks, which is an obvious reference to a rather famous group of hackers who call themselves Anonymous as the name of their team. And even in the Skibidi universe, they do the same thing and hack into different systems. When another toilet pulls up alongside his counterpart, we then can get a closer look at him. Basically, he doesn't have anything unusual except for a mask, real robotic arms, and the ability to program. Otherwise, those are the usual Skibidi toilets with armor plates, headphones, and shoulder plates, which look somewhat similar to those of the Skibidi scientist. This guy is typing something on a keyboard, and I guess we're being shown the same kind of message from the beginning of the episode, that the toilets are supposedly going to attack the Clockmen base. And now it's getting clear what kind of devices the Alpha was talking about. Now we are moving to the base of the DRILLMEN, where preparations for some kind of battle are apparently taking place, because almost all of the DRILLMEN seem to be engaged in the process of training. However, one of them slacks off work and approaches Drill Woman with flowers, but she rejects him, which is not that surprising to me. Sorry bro, but she's already taken by me. And if you try to approach her ever again, then something terrible will be waiting for you somewhere at the dark corner. So what was I actually talking about? It seems like in his spare time, Drillman the Bouncer moonlights as a bartender or something like that, pouring drinks to ordinary soldiers. And apparently, they still work on oil, which is being bottled from Coca-Cola beverages. I'll call it Coke Oil. You can also hear music from the beverage dispenser, which is also a reference. Exactly the same music could be heard in the recently released game called Lethal Company. Finally, we are getting transported to the drill man with a nail gun, who is sitting on the wall and apparently patrolling the perimeter, while sitting comfortably in his chair. Suddenly, a huge army of Skibidi appears in the distance out of nowhere, and the patrolman presses the alarm button, putting the base into the combat mode. And at this point, Titan Drillman also receives an audible alert message, but the other Titans do not. This suggests that the Skibidi managed to capture only this communication channel, but the devices that are connected only to the Drillmen were not affected. And therefore, one of the Titans received the message without any kinds of issues. If this had not happened, then most likely there would be nothing left of this base, because in an attempt to send a help request, the agent's tablet gives the message hacked by Skibidi. After a very long period of deep thinking and analyzing, Titan Drillman finally decides that he must save his friends. So he leaves this place and starts digging a tunnel to the Drillman base. At this time, Titan Cameraman asks Titan Speakerman to stay here just in case, because if all the Titans will fly away, then the base of the Clockman will be left completely defenseless and open for a potential Skibidi strike. After that, Cameraman flies off to help Titan Drillman. At this time, There is a fierce battle going on at the other base, and all indications are that the Alliance is getting defeated here. Many of the agents have already fallen down, and the toilets have infiltrated the base, seemingly surrounding it from all the possible sides. They have even brought in tower catapults with huge spoons to hurl fire projectiles. On top of that, you can then notice one kind of weird Skibidi approaching, and it seems like he has something right in the middle that looks like, well, let's say some kind of bayonet, I don't really know. And he's waving it right in front of him as he approaches the drillman. I don't really know what he's going to do with his baby John. But if these guys are not actually want to find this out, then they should fight back as hard as they can. But I think the Alliance has a chance of fending off this attack, because they have an agent among them who has an incredible super speed ability. You just look at this. He moved 10 meters in a split second. I'm not really sure of it, but maybe it's a reference to Quicksilver from the X-Men movie series, who moved just as fast. What do you think, guys? And next, we're getting sent to DRILLMEN, and based on the looks of these catapults, it seems that she successfully climbed up this wall. And if DRILLWOMAN could do it with her drills on her tentacles, how the heck did this guy end up here? Because as far as I've personally seen, there are no ladders to these walls inside the base, or they were destroyed in the process of the battle. Apparently, he had very strong legs, using which he could jump extremely high, but unfortunately, his powerful legs didn't help him to prolong his vitality, and he still got shot, unlike this haughty lady. We are shown the terrible consequences of being in the center of this battleground, like this Skibidi who's waving his huge bayonet as he comes closer and closer, as well as plenty of destroyed agents laying around. Also, on one of the 3 catapults you can spot a mutant Skibidi with yellow eyes, but we'll come back to him a little bit later. Elite Drillman fights with a very interesting Skibidi who has 3 saws, and it is also a reference to the anime called Chainsaw Man, because this Skibidi has a mask on his head, similar to the one that the main character of that anime wore. His saws prove to be quite powerful, and one of the elite drillmen's drill flies off. Unfortunately, we are not shown how this drillman won, but we will see this guy a little later. Drillman the bouncer is holding the power grid structure, so the other agents could get out from under this thing, while another drillman is getting destroyed by the Skibidi with a saw, just as it already happened in episode 10 with one of the cameramen before. And in this scene, you can actually notice how his shirt gets suspiciously red around the neck, which may once again indicate that these guys are living beings after all. Press F, guys. Now we are getting transported back to DRILLWOMAN, who is looking at the mutant Skibidi that is standing on one of the catapults. I don't really know why, but this scene reminded me of the animated series called Avatar: The Last Airbender. So the haughty lady flies right onto the catapult on her grappling drill and throws the mutant straight down while breaking through the wall. And now we can actually discern how this siege weapon looks from the inside and what kind of blazing shells are stored in it. I believe that they are being sent upwards with the usage of some kind of a vertical conveyor or something similar to it. DRILLWOMAN fires an explosive nail into one of the shells, causing it to detonate, as a result, causing the catapult to collapse. And we can once again be convinced of the unrivaled genius of the Skibidi that placed the catapults in a row, so that when one is being destroyed, then it would destroy the other one just like dominoes. So as a result, the toilets have no more siege weapons left. Bravo! The bouncer knocks down some of the Skibidi that got to be unlucky enough to stand in his way and walks over to his friends, who are surrounded by a bunch of Skibidi toilets. We saw all of them, except just this one. He doesn't have a jetpack or helicopter blades, but he's flying into the air, so maybe he's got some kind of a special thing underneath his bottom that would allow him to fly. And apart from that, his toilet is quite long, and reminds me a lot of a helicopter, if his watch was on the tail of his. While the agents are getting surrounded, a huge Skibidi monster comes on stage, which looks very similar in terms of his design to the white Skibidi toilet from episode 22. They both have identical chainsaws from below, as well as garbage can lids, which most likely hide explosive charges that detonate after the destruction of the Skibidi. He also has 2 huge cages, one from below and the second from above. And if you look closely enough, that you can notice how in the cage from below, there is something arachnid with the drill in the middle. And this is either one of the drillmen being captured and placed in this cage to intimidate others, or a dangerous spider drill infected or created by the Skibidists or something like that, which is why exactly he was placed in here. This monster's head is also behind a grate of some sort, and his eye sockets are black and seem to have no eyes in them, and he's blind, just like the Skibidi toilet with two maces from episode 17 that attacked the squad of agents. His face reminds me of footage from the movie called Tale of the Mummy, which was released in 1998. Behind the tank of this monster, there is a huge installation with robot hands, but you can't see them because of the shadow. Skibidi rides up to the agents, and we are getting transferred to Titan Drillman, who is digging a tunnel to his comrades, after which we are once again transferred to the base. But now we are shown everything as if through the eyes of a creature from the cage, which confirms that there is still someone inside of it who's ready to tear these guys apart. And at the end, his gaze is being suspiciously directed at Drillwoman. It looks like in the next episode, we'll see how the Skibidi that surrounded the agents will stage something similar to gladiatorial fights, where Drillwoman will have to deal with this scary something that even the Skibidi toilets have put behind bars. And maybe it's not a spider drill, but a new race created by the Alpha. And that was all for today. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss my new videos. And that was me, Isa Toilet. See ya.